Hi, it's me again with Corel Tips and Tricks. Somebody sent me this file, and I've already helped him draw it, but he has needs a little bit of help with measuring the center of the star. And there's two ways to do it. So this star is a 60-point line. Let me just start over. Let's take a star, and let's make it a little bit bigger. And let's hit P and put it in the center of the page. Now we're going to take that line and make it a 60-point line. Even though 60 points isn't in our menu, we can type in 60. One of his questions was he wants a sharp point here. Well, if you hit F12 on your keyboard, it comes up with that pin outline. Right here, you got mitered corners, but right here you got 45, so type a 0, and it gives you that sharp point. Then go to Object, convert outline to an object, and then we can left-click, right-click. His question is, he needs to know half the distance of this and half the distance of this, and this is at an angle. So we're going to bring this indexing line right to that edge, and we're going to measure that distance. There's another way we could have done it, but since we're using points, so it's 0.82 of an inch. So we're going to set our nudge factor on 0.41. We're going to take this indexing line and mark it down, and you see it's even 0.41. Now that works good on this, but how do you measure when it's at an angle? So we're going to take a 2-point line and just draw it from there to there. And then we're going to take this line and put it down in here. We're going to go ahead and take the virtual segment delete key and delete this line everywhere except for that where it needs to be. Now, how do you figure out the center of that line? You take the shape tool, you select it, and you hit add a node. So now you've got a node exactly in the middle between those two lines. We don't really know where we're going to start, but we're going to start in somewhere about here. We're going to take the 3-point curve line and get right on that indexing line, and then go down to that node, and then hold down the control button and see what it does. It gets it a perfect shape. Now his next question was, how do you make another one exactly where that one is? Well, it's pretty easy. We'll actually use this line right here. We're going to get the parallel dimension tool, and we're going to go from that intersection of that line to there, and it is 1.1. So all we have to do is change our nudge factor to 1.1. We can control D and make a duplicate and then mirror it, hold it down pretty close to that indexing line, and then hold down the control button and have it snap to that node. Now we can just nudge it over, and those two lines are perfectly spaced apart. So I've actually got a better way, I think, to do this than he's doing it, because now he's having to take these two lines and turn them into a 60-point line. And then you can go to Object, convert the outline to an object, and you can left-click, right-click, and they meet up pretty good, but you've got a lot of lines you need to take away, which isn't that big a deal. First of all, we don't want to do that. We want to, if we look at this, we want to take away this part of the line. So we're going to take a 2-point curve or two-point line and go there to there, and go to there. Now we can take the virtual segment delete key, and I must not be exactly right somewhere. And that's pretty close, but it's not on the money. So we could actually just bring that up for a second. Nobody's going to be able to see it or tell it. Then we're going to take the virtual segment delete key. But I've got another way to do this that I think would be much better. And we're going to take away that line. And, well, see, that just creates more problems. Now we have to take a 2-point line and go from here to here and here to here, because we need that filled in. And we're going to take away that line. We're going to take away all these cross lines. And we're going to I'm going to have to look at the picture. Take away this line, take away this line and this line, take away this line, take away that line, I'm just hitting the virtual segment delete key. So I think there's a better way to do this, and I'll show you in just a second. Let's see. Yep, it's the same on this side. That line isn't perfect, so we're going to zoom in, take the shape tool. It's really close. As you zoom in, you can see we're going to take the shape tool and just nudge that up to that line. Then we can take the virtual segment delete key and delete this line, delete this line, that line, that line. So we're just making places for the Smart Fill tool to go. And this is, I'm off on that line. You can always just take the shape tool and just move it over there. It's going to throw it off a little bit. If I was doing it for real, I'd change that. Also, I deleted some lines down here that I shouldn't have, but it gives it, I got my Smart Fill set on white, which doesn't work. So that's pretty close, with the exception we need to take out these lines. And I'm going to go ahead and do that real quick, but you wouldn't want to do it this way, but take the 3-point curve line and go from, you know, like right there to maybe right in there, and then curve it a little bit, go from right there. And of course, you'd want to do this exactly. But I think my second way to do it is going to be a lot better for him, because I'm a little bit rough there. And if we do that, that's pretty close. And then in the second part, I'm going to show how to make these false spots, makes it look like it's kind of going behind it. But I think I've got a totally better way to do it. So stay tuned for part 2. Hope that helped. Thank you for watching.